Hello, I'm Richard Ridge, and welcome to the kickoff of the 20th season of Broadway Beat, where we continue to bring you the very best of what the New York theater scene has to offer. This week we have a look at the ballroom sensation, Burn the Floor, which continues to pack them in at the Longacre Theater. We'll also stop by the first day of rehearsal for Tracy Lett's new play, Superior Donuts, which is gearing to open at the Music Box Theater. We'll also give you a sneak peek and meet the cast of Roundabout Theater Company's new production of the Tony Award-winning 1960 musical Bye Bye Birdie, which stars John Stamos, Gina Gershon, and Bill Irwin. But let's start things off with a B-Beat Summer Theater Roundup. The Tony Award-winning Avenue Q has moved from Broadway's Golden Theater to Off-Broadway's New World stages, so audiences can continue to enjoy this delightful musical.
Everyone's a little bit racist, it's true. But everyone is just about as racist as you. If we all could just admit that we are racist a little bit, and everyone stop being so PC, maybe we could live in harmony. Everyone's a little bit racist.
This summer, City Center's Encores eased on down the road with the hit 70s musical The Wiz. It featured recording artist Ashanti as Dorothy and Tony Award winner LaShans as Glinda. This season's Encores will feature Girl Crazy, Fanny, and Anyone Can Whistle.
Can you feel a brand new day? 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 Oh, can you feel it? Brand new day. Can you feel it? Brand new day.
Film star Anne Hathaway dazzled audiences this summer along with Audra McDonald and Julie White at Central Park's Delacorte Theater in the Public Theater's production of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, directed by Daniel Sullivan. The Public Theater's second offering at the Delacorte was director Joanne Akalaitis' visceral take on the Greek tragedy The Bacchae, starring Jonathan Groff and Andre de Shields, and featured a score by Philip Glass.
The hills of the east echo with his joy cries. Voices raise to the wind, cry echoes cry, and the holy music of the pipes makes such sweet thunder to the hills, to the hills.
The ballroom dance craze continues to sweep the world with TV shows like Dancing with the Stars and So You Think You Can Dance. Well, now Broadway is being treated to the sizzling new show, Burn the Floor, which not only turns up the heat, but audiences nightly at the Longacre Theater. The show's special dancing guest stars are Anya and Pasha from So You Think You Can Dance.
With you.
Basically, after we opened in London back then in 1998, we've been going pretty much all around the world. We've had a couple of North American tours. We've done Australia, Europe, Asia. The show is very popular in Japan, so this ballroom dancing revolution has caught fire just about everywhere, so it's been great.
Well, we've really created an intimate experience, a really unique experience where people can really enjoy the passion of dance.
I think they're going to share the dance with us, every intimate moment, romantic number, sexy numbers. It's an exciting journey.
What are some of the dances that you two do in the show?
We do more of the traditional ballroom dances, just to show the difference between the edgier, newer style of the Latin American dances.
So you see Rebecca and I do like a romantic and beautiful waltz and also a fiery tango. So it's really enjoyable for us.
When I saw this show, I fell in love because I've been looking for a project to get involved with on Broadway for quite a while now. Like I've been kind of wanting to expand and see what it's like. It's a whole different world, the Broadway world. So I was nervous, but when I saw this show, I fell in love. And I just thought, okay, they want me to be a part of it. I'm on board. I was like, yes! So when I saw the show, what we did was I gave some creative notes, and they took some of the notes. Like one of my notes was to bring in like celebrity guest stars, because I think it just adds, because all we want to do is get people in the theater. Because once you're in this theater and you watch the show, you're hooked. This show is a fantastic show. It's so sexy and energetic, and you know, I call myself the ultimate consumer, and so I knew as just a consumer, I love the show. So of course I would want to be one of the producers on the show, and I'm so honored and I'm so grateful to Harley Metcalf for bringing me in. And it's been such a pleasure to work with Jason Gilkison, sorry, I always say his name wrong, Jason Gilkison and Peter Roby. It's back to my roots. I'm in the theater again. I produced a show a long time ago when I was like 21. Just last week. Not. Long time ago. And we had like $5,000 to produce it. And we worked our butts off. And I just remember that feeling when I first saw the show. And I thought, I remember that feeling. I have to be a part of the show. And, you know, I will tell you, there were people on my team who said, no, you shouldn't do this show. It's not quite right for you to be a part of. And I went against the advice of a lot of people because this show touched my heart. And there's something special about it. And I had to do it.
Well, I got a man, but it ain't too clean. It's real low down and it's kind of mean. The dirty boogie. The dirty boogie. When I get low down, it's the dirty boogie for me. The dirty boogie. What's it called? The dirty boogie. Hey, you, oh. The dirty boogie. How's it go? The dirty boogie. And not too slow when I get low down. It's the dirty boogie for me.
Playwright Tracy Letts, who won the Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award for his play August Osage County, is back with his latest called Superior Donuts, which comes to Broadway's Music Box Theater with the entire Steppenwolf cast intact, led by Michael McKean, and is directed by Tina Landau. We stopped by their very first day of rehearsal as they gear up for an October 1st opening.
I thought when we came here with August Osage County that it was a one-off, that we were going to do this thing. I was like, oh, what a great adventure. I never expected that I would be back with another show. Superior Donuts is a very Chicago-centric play. It's a play that loves Chicago, the city where I live and where the play is set and where we originally did it. I'm delighted to find that New Yorkers also enjoyed the play, and so we're bringing it here for Broadway audiences to see. So producers from August Osage County came to see it and said, oh no, this is a Broadway show. We're going to take it to Broadway. So very exciting.
Talk about how thrilled you are also having the entire Steppenwolf company that played this Steppenwolf coming to Broadway with this.
Oh, it's very exciting. It's terrific to be able to work with those actors at Steppenwolf. We have such wonderful actors in the company, and we attract actors like Michael McKeon to be able to work at our theater, and so that we're able to bring that entire group and just pick up sort of where we left off, and it makes it easier to take the play to the next level and actually take what we've already done before and just improve upon that.
Okay, it's actually an odd story because I was not scheduled to direct this play. Amy Morton, who was in August Osage County, was going to direct, and we're all Steppenwolf Ensemble members. Amy decided to stay in the show here, Tracy's other play that was playing, and about 6 weeks before rehearsal started, I got a call saying, would I come do this as a favor to the theater? So I read the play, and I loved the play, and I thought, this is family. You go when family calls, and I decided to do it, although for me it felt like very different fare. It was something I didn't even know if I would enjoy or be good at, but I ended up loving it and falling in love with the play, and my first time working with Tracy, which I loved. So I'm just happy and blessed to be here.
I play Officer Randy Osteen. I'm the ingenue of this. Don't laugh. She's a little lonely cop who is kind of a crush on Arthur, and I think a lot of these characters are people that need to step out of their comfort zone, so and try and take the leap. So we'll see what happens.
So what were your initial reactions when you first read this play? Because had you worked with Tracy before?
I did Bug with Tracy, which was like one of the best moments of my life theatrically. I read it and I was like, yeah, that's me. The thing I like about Tracy's plays, all of them, no matter how crazy they are, is the humanity that he brings, and Superior Donuts has a lot of humanity in it.
I mean, it was the first professional play that I've had written for me, which is, written with me in mind for the characters. So that was overwhelming in itself. It was just a really wild ride and kind of an emotional time that we all had together. It was a big family from day one, and we just really enjoyed each other. So it's just, I think I'm really blessed to get to do it all again here on the biggest stage in our nation.
Well, how exciting is it that the entire Steppenwolf company that did it there is now coming to New York to do it here on Broadway?
It meant the world, and it's never easy picking up and leaving your home, but that's what we do, and I'm really pleased that everybody was able to make it. It really meant the world to all of us, and it's a dream that we're all here together.
Talk about the role that you play and what you love about him.
Mm-hmm. Franco Wicks is just, I think I love his intelligence. He's just, he's a really smart kid, and you don't get to play that a lot when you're young. So there's that. He's funny. He's way funnier than I am by far. And it's nice to play characters that have that kind of hope for the future. A lot of things are dark, but he's got some edge, but he's also got that hope that, you dream of having when you're older. So I love it.
And talk about what it's been like having Tracy Letts during the rehearsal process, and like you said, having this role created for you.
I know. It's weird. It's like having a genius follow you around all the time. No, he's just a really funny guy, and he puts everyone at ease with his sense of humor. He's always on top of his game, very smart guy. I mean, I'm playing a character with his intellect. That's kind of what it is. So he's just a master at what he does, and it's just a gift to be able to do it with him every day.
Well, Arthur Chubershevsky is a man roughly my age. When he reached the age of 18, his draft card came in the mail. He wasn't about to go to Vietnam, and so he took off. He went to Toronto, said goodbye to his father for the last time. His father died a few years after that. And when amnesty was declared, when, as he puts it in the play, President Carter invited me home, he came back to Chicago, and he and his mom ran this little dump of a donut shop, which his father had started in 1950. And his mother passed away, and for the past 20 years, he's been manning it alone and pretty much hiding out from the world, pretty much hiding out from a reality that he's kind of left behind, a reality that did very little for him. A failed marriage, an estranged daughter, and an awful lot of loneliness. And sometimes the way to deal with loneliness is to embrace it, and that's what he tries. And then there's this young man named Franco Wicks who walks in the door one day and drags him kicking and screaming into the 21st century. And that's my take on it, anyway.
Roundabout Theatre Company kicks off their 2009-2010 season with the Tony Award-winning 1960 Michael Stewart, Lee Adams, and Charles Strauss musical Bye Bye Birdie, which will be the first show to open their brand new theater, the Henry Miller, on October 15th. Birdie, which features direction and choreography by Robert Longbottom, stars John Stamos, Gina Gershon, and Bill Irwin. We dropped by their rehearsal studio to give you a sneak peek at some musical numbers and to meet the cast.
Well, I'm the chairman of the board and a loyal theater, more importantly, a loyal theater goer to Roundabout for probably over 30 years. So,
what's the news today?
well, we're opening. This is a very proud moment for us because we're opening our fourth theater, which is the Henry Miller Theater. It is, as I think everybody knows, the first green theater in New York. And that means it's built to be environmentally, have an environmentally positive and fuel-efficient kind of structure and nature. It also is really, I think, in a period where there's very little funds available to build new theaters. This may be the last new theater you see for some time on Broadway. So all of that is kind of, I think, the fact that the Durst organization and Bank America chose the Roundabout Theater Company to be running it as kind of a tribute to, I think, Todd Hames, our director, Julia Levy, executive director, and all the people that have made Roundabout such a special place.
Well, it's been a joy because we had to do very little work. You know, Bobby Longbottom has done a sensational job, and the cast is wonderful. We're thrilled.
It's been a delight because we did the heavy lifting, so to speak, in Philadelphia. What is it, 50 years ago?
Yeah, 50 years ago.
Where we did all the rewriting. It was an unexpected hit, totally unexpected. We had, I believe somebody said $19 in the box office when we opened. I asked somebody before if you can picture 50 years ago, would you go to see a show starring Dick Van Dyke and Cheetah Rivera? But of course not. But you know, as soon as
and about rock and roll.
What?
And about rock and roll.
And about rock and roll too, which we were the first. So nobody was interested. Nobody put any money into it. And Gower Champion was a genius, no question about it. And we were two very, very lucky writers.
Very lucky.
I know the two of you are here, and the third element to this, of course, is the late Michael Stewart.
Yes.
Would you talk about Michael's input of collaborating with him on this musical?
He was a joy to work with, and a little crazy, but he wrote a wonderful book. One of the best things about the structure of Birdie is people come on stage, do their thing, get their laughs, and get off fast. The show has great pace because of that. That's Michael.
I can go even farther, or at least in another direction. He was one of our closest friends.
Oh, yeah.
We had written before. We were in summer stock together. I wrote songs with Mike. I wrote 4 or 5 songs with him. And we were all together on a show called The Shoestring Review, where we met Cheetah. And once I heard her sing, she has a range that is fantastic. We kept throwing songs to her. And when Carol Haney, who was originally supposed to do this show, got ill, we asked Cheetah. It was the 3 of our, we all knew her very well. And we said, how about if we do it for a Spanish lady? And everything just, fell into place. It was remarkable.
I've loved having them here. I directed a new musical of theirs years ago, only in workshop, a version of Marty that they'd written. And so I knew them a little bit. And I was thrilled to go to them and say, hey, you guys, could I direct Bye Bye Birdie on Broadway? And they happily said yes. And it's been interesting. So many people know this score. They've owned the record. They sing it home backwards and forwards. There was the temptation to write new material. And I think we all collectively decided you can apply different standards of production on something, but you want to be really true to the words that were written and those songs that everybody owns in a way.
I can't wait to see this.
I'll tell you what's interesting. When you do a play, especially, as Dee says, at our age, you're always thinking, is this, this is a paycheck, it's fun, but will this be substantial? This musical is not a frothy musical. It's, at least doesn't feel it to me after 4 weeks of rehearsal. It's a substantial story inside of this great music. And of course, these incredible kids dancing throughout it. And as Dee says, it's a look at a time during which we were growing up. So it has a lot of meaning. Also, what audiences should expect when they come, I hope they will laugh a great deal. I hope they will find it very funny. It's a musical comedy.
And it's a trip down memory lane for anyone over 25 about first love and infatuation with an idol, a star, but in a more innocent age. And it's certainly humbling in that sense because you've seen through the decades of my own life, there's a sweetness to it. It's definitely a family show without being icky. I would call us the anti-Hair. We're a youth musical that doesn't have all that political other stuff in it, you know what I mean? Which is nothing against that. There's room for all of us. But I think people can expect a really good time.
What I love about Mae Peterson, I love that she's John Stamos' mother. I'm having a great time working with Mr. Stamos. Now, this is one of the great iconic roles in musical theater. And ironically, she doesn't sing. She doesn't have anything to do with the music, but it's a role that I remember when I first saw Bye Bye Birdie when I was at, junior high school, grade school, the film. I remember thinking, that's a good part. That's a part I'd like to play someday. And then seeing various high school productions and always thinking, that's a good part. I'd like to play that part someday. So why is she iconic? I think she invented passive aggression. And, she is the embodiment of what a mother will do for love.
It's amazing because everyone loves and everyone knows Bye Bye Birdie. When I was at my friend's house, when I was trying to figure out, am I doing this, and she said, oh, Gina's doing to her 11-year-old son, who didn't say a word. Like, the whole time I was there, I didn't know him, I just met him. He was just like, and all of a sudden she said, oh, Gina's gonna be doing Bye Bye Birdie, and he's all of a sudden like, I love you, Conrad. Oh, yes, I do. I love you, Conrad. And we'll be he loved it. He goes, yeah, I love that show. I mean, everyone knows it from either high school or from, I guess the movie. The movie feels so different than the play. Especially my part is so different. I would have loved to have seen it, as a play. I would have loved to have seen Peter Rivera do it. I'm sure she was so incredible. So, but it's one of those feel-good. It's weirdly timeless, but it's also very it's such an innocent time. It's such a different time. I just think the music's really great and the story's fun, and there's something about it. It's really one of those feel-good musicals.
Yeah, this is the first time I've originated a role or re-originated, and it's liberating. I mean, it's fantastic because it's so nice to be able to kind of create, and try to, and look at it basically starting with a blank slate, and not having to go here on this line and do there. It's, but I feel like, it was something that I needed to. I didn't deserve it yet. I think I needed to pay my dues, which I did with the other shows, and so I feel sort of like it was time for me to do it. And it's been, I'm elated. I just love all of it.
Well, I can watch it when you play with the cast upstairs and everything else, just the audience. You're really great. Talk about the role that you play and how you see it.
Well, it's funny. Everybody, when I say I'm doing Bye Bye Birdie, they say, "Oh, you're playing Conrad." I'm like, I'm 20 years too old or 25 years too old now. But I much relate to Albert much more than I do a Conrad guy. I initially thought about his physicality, the way I stand and the nervousness and the glasses and the stuff, until he kind of grows a backbone and stands up to Mama and stands up to everybody and says, "This is who I love and this is what I'm going to do." So that's been my initial approach, I think. The physicality of the guy, was interesting to me. And it's not normally a role, the character's a little quirkier and maybe nerdier than characters I played, but people that know me in real life think that I'm closer to the Albert than Conrad,